Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So Arslanbek Makhmudov outworks and outboxes Dave Allen to win a 12-round unanimous points decision. Let's talk about it. This was really a typical Dave Allen fight in the sense that he got hit a lot and was very low volume. Even in the fights that Dave Allen wins, that's what you see. When he beat Nick Webb back in the days, he was taking a shellacking until he landed that overhand right. In both Johnny Fisher fights, he was low volume. Yes, even in the rematch, go back and watch it. He looked menacing in that rematch in terms of the positions he was getting himself in, and he was letting the right hand go here and there, but overall he was low volume. And that's ultimately what led me to pick Makhmudov to win this fight on points, which is what happened because I figured as flawed as Makhmudov is, when you consider his amateur background, he fought at a high level, coming out of the Russian amateur system. He was also in the WSB. And you take into account the fact that Makhmudov tends to be quite high volume. I thought, even though Dave Allen's got a chance in this fight, a decent chance, I have to pick Makhmudov to win, all things considered. Didn't think it'd stop Dave Allen, but I thought he should have enough output and know-how to get the job done on points. People were heavily focused on Makhmudov's perceived lack of stamina, but this is a guy who beat Carlos Takam. Yeah, it was several years ago, but Takam's a better fighter than Dave Allen ever was. And the guys who stopped Makhmudov, and I said this before the fight in my live stream, are better than Dave Allen. Caballero, obviously, but even Guido Vianello was better than Dave Allen. I mean, David Price, a guy who was known to gas many times in his career, a guy who didn't have a great chin, he totally outboxed and stopped Dave Allen. Now, what did slightly surprise me about this fight here with Makhmudov was the way Makhmudov went about it. I thought he would just meet Allen head on, which he kind of did in the early going. He was actually pushing Dave Allen back in the first few rounds. I thought that would be the pattern of the fight throughout, and it just outwork Allen that way. But midway through the fight, he actually got on the back foot, and it was Allen coming forward and Makhmudov sticking a jab, putting combinations together, walking Allen onto shots. Now, I shouldn't be totally shocked that Makhmudov had that type of technique and ability, not like it was amazing, but it was decent. I'm not totally shocked by it because, again, he comes out of the Russian amateur system. You have to have some type of boxing fundamentals when you're coming from that type of school. But like I say, I was a little surprised that Makhmudov was able to do it in that way. I thought it would just be like a war of attrition, both guys coming forward for the whole fight, and Makhmudov would just throw more and be a little too active, maybe a little too strong, and he just out-hustled Dave Allen that way. Now, before the fight, Makhmudov said he'd never actually heard of Dave Allen before, didn't know who he was. And so it's possible, especially given how aggressive Makhmudov was early, seemingly going for the knockout, it's possible that he didn't realize what a great chin Dave Allen had. He saw that he'd been stopped a number of times. Maybe he looked at his box rack and thought, I'll blast this guy out in a couple of rounds. So maybe Makhmudov was a little taken aback, do you know what I mean, by Dave Allen's durability. But either way, he had some type of boxing fundamentals to fall back on. Although Dave Allen did apply the pressure, he did have Makhmudov a little rocked in one of the later rounds, but Makhmudov was able to weather the storm, come back, get on his jab. The holding was borderline excessive from Makhmudov at times, and he did get 2 points deducted, but he was so far ahead, and he was winning, the majority of the rounds. It didn't make a difference in the end. So like I said at the start, it was a typical Dave Allen fight, a typical Dave Allen performance. By the time he got going, it was far too late. And that's what happens when you step up the levels. You can get away with being low volume against the Johnny Fishers and Nick Webbs of the world. You can't get away with being that low volume when you step up even to the Makhmudov level. Why is Dave Allen so low volume? I don't think it's a fitness thing. I just think it's maybe a biomechanics thing or a psychological thing because of his years of being a sparring partner, maybe a combination of the two. But that's just always who Dave Allen's been. He's always been a guy that will frustrate you, who'll go rounds and rounds and rounds, barely throwing any punches. Even in the fights he wins, he's like that. Which again is why I ultimately was leaning towards Makhmudov winning the fight. I picked Makhmudov to win on points. Again, I thought Dave Allen had a decent chance, but I figured Makhmudov should have enough to see him off. And that he did. Again, Dave Allen finally got going when it was too late. In the final third of the fight, Makhmudov was able to weather any storms and actually land some good shots of his own in the final couple rounds and take a well-deserved 12-round unanimous points decision. Where do both fighters go from here? Well, truth be told, again, going into the fight, I was more looking at it from Makhmudov's perspective. I'm thinking, well, Makhmudov sees this as a stepping stone in his comeback, and it served exactly that purpose. I mean, the guy's been stopped twice before. He was tested somewhat here by Dave Allen. Maybe it was the kind of test he needed before he tries to make another run at the top 10. Because when you've been stopped in the way that he has a couple of times now, it can become a pattern. When things get tough for you, maybe you crumble again. The fact it got tough here against Dave Allen and he didn't crumble, like I say, might give him some added confidence. I still think Makhmudov is very limited. I don't expect him to make any kind of major splash on the world scene. But yeah, it may have served its purpose, that fight for him. Exercising some demons, maybe. Other people might say, no, probably do the opposite. It's exposed the fact that he doesn't like pressure again. Whatever the case may be, I guess we'll find out in due course. As for Dave Allen, like I say, he was a stepping stone for Makhmudov. I guess he saw Makhmudov as a stepping stone for him towards the Deontay Wilder fight and various other fights that Eddie Hearn had floated around for him. Some people are saying Dave Allen should retire now. The thing is, okay, he got well outpointed against Makhmudov, but he made it interesting enough to where fans might actually want to see him again. So I don't necessarily think he needs to retire because I expected him to lose this fight on points. He just needs to find another domestic level rival or maybe a really, really shot fringe world level guy. And if that guy has enough of a personality, whoever it is, it might be something they could sell. It depends how much hunger Dave Allen still has for the sport. I'm sure these training camps are tough and these fights are tough, but just looking at it from a commercial perspective, I think he can still continue. Like I say, yeah, he was soundly outpointed, but it wasn't like the David Price fight where he got a total shellacking and barely landed anything in return. If it was that, then yeah, I'd be urging him to retire, but he weren't that. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below about this fight. Did it go the way you expected it to? Did anything surprise you here? Where do you think both guys will go from here? And where do you want to see both guys go from here? Drop it all below in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.